Hey everybody, Jordan from Back Society here. Do me a favor and click that subscribe button below and hit the bell icon so you don't miss a single episode. Now, back to grinding.
I get Kamala wants to, be targeted a certain demographic, but I mean, like, bro, find the common ground with everybody. You know what I mean? Like, if you take a shot every time she says black, dude, you're drunk within the next 10 minutes. You can't go on. Dude, I'm like,
I mean, both parties really, they all pander in their own way. I don't know how you keep accidentally muting yourself.
Is he muted?
I feel like
anyway, well, you're talking about her on Shannon Sharp because it literally drops 4 hours ago, right?
Right.
Yeah.
And
right.
So wait, think about it. Where did all the reporting is saying where she's struggling the most? Black men, right?
Is it really?
Yeah. Like there is a concerted effort.
I didn't know that. I thought that's like 100% Democrat. Like
No, there's a huge shift. Well,
I don't know. They said there was a huge shift in 2020 as well. They thought they were going to get at least 21%, and they ended up with like what, 12? I mean,
I think it was
like every election the overall black vote. Just, I think that was the overall vote is shifting.
Yeah, that was the overall black vote, but I don't think that was black men. I think there's like, I'm telling you, like there's like a sizable polling disadvantage right now, and there are like that's why she's going on Shannon Sharp. That's why she didn't do Joe Rogan.
Rogan said
it's very targeted.
Well, I mean, like who's the general demographic for Rogan? And it's usually just kind of middle of the ground white guys. Middle class, but she's not probably going to win those. So.
Well, no, she probably is. A lot of those, if you're middle class, if they're college educated, they tend to skew more Democratic anyway.
That's the
they don't see
factor,
that,
but I don't think I think when it comes to like college educated and non college educated, I think that's like 50-50 for Rogan.
But can you imagine if she like lost the black man vote to Donald Trump?
Dude, when you get on the internet, that's all you see is black people voting for Trump, though.
Yeah, black people voting for Trump.
No, it's black men. It's not people. It's black men specifically. That's who they're targeting. Yeah. Because there is a big issue that they're saying there's a huge gap.
I don't know. I think the statistics is a little skewed because the internet can make one person look like 1,000.
Well, that's not statistics though. That's
perception.
That's perception. Yeah, that's not statistics. I think statistically in polling, they're seeing an issue, and that's why they're being more targeted.
I don't know.
Right?
I feel like this is. I don't know. I just don't feel like this is a big issue.
Right. I mean, right off the rip, she goes, "Yeah, when I was a kid, I listened to Stevie Wonder. He sang me happy birthday. I had."
That was so dumb, dude. I can't believe she said that.
But I was like,
try to be more relatable, please.
I like it though. I like it from her because she this is the first time she's relatable. Like you said, like this is the first time she let her guard down. She smiled. You know what I mean?
No, bro, this is all.
I know it is.
It feels so scripted.
It is, but and that's what Joe Rogan said at the end of the Trump. He said, "I want to have Kamala on. I just want to have a conversation. We don't even have to talk about politics." But they want him. They want him to send her questions. And he's like, dude, it's not, there's no questions. It's just a conversation. So, Shannon Sharp had to send her questions that he was going to ask, or vice versa. Ask her this, ask her that. Because people are saying you're not relatable. Ask her this. And then all through, I mean, I've only gotten through the first 30 minutes of the interview. And it's,
I'm only on minute 14.
She's dropping statistics about black people, cancer, black people with cancer, how,
it's a targeted interview. Like,
for sure. For sure. But then, I mean, like when I looked at it, I was like, she said she was a single parent, or her mom was a single parent. She had uncles and aunts that were looking after her that were black. And I'm sitting there like, I thought the whole time her mom was Indian. And then I Googled it. And
her dad's Jamaican.
Her dad is Jamaican, but if her dad wasn't there, and her mom was the primary caregiver.
I mean, that doesn't mean his family wasn't at least a little bit involved.
I'm not saying that, but I'm just it's a weird.
You're saying like what? Like you would expect more Indian influence growing up. Is that what you're saying?
Yes.
Gotcha.
Yes. But it's just a weird. It's a weird. I feel like my thing is like I get why they're doing it, the targeting thing, but race is such a divided thing when in reality we're all one race. You know what I mean? Like it doesn't matter
Human race.
It doesn't matter about the color of your skin. You know, like it's just
it doesn't. But in the political sphere, I mean, both parties kind of focus in on it. I mean,
I think the issue nowadays.
Continue.
I was gonna say the issue nowadays is we conflate race with culture, right?
Yeah.
Really, she's saying I grew up in this culture, right? Like,
right? Yeah.
It's more of a cultural thing, but like we've just kind of especially on the, like Jordan said, on the political landscape, they just kind of label it as race because it's easy,
right?
You know what I mean? It's just like because culture is so like nebulous, where race you can kind of define it by just like looks.
But I think they need to make that switch. Be like, hey,
yeah.
You know, like I got to experience this culture and that culture, and I love their culture. I love.
You don't want to appropriate though. You don't want to culturally appropriate.
But it's crazy because like it just keeps people divided. I love that one guy. You know what? I've been watching a lot of interviews on JD Vance. I like that guy.
I'm
Why
not.
Do you like JD Vance?
I like that guy.
Why?
Because they push back on these stupid questions.
Like
dude, when he gets interviewed on like these
talking about Capper.
No, just on any time, and they want to get a clip of him to say something that something
wrong. He's good. He's good at like preventing the soundbite. He is good at that. He is
extremely good at that, and I like that about him. I like that he's even smart enough or the awareness of it. And he just is like, nah, I'm not going to give you the answer that you want to make us look bad.
Okay, so he's a good interviewer.
Give you the real answer.
So, okay, yeah, he is a good interview. I've always said that. I thought he would win the VP debate, mostly because he's just a better speaker than Walz is. But, I mean, VP is still a pretty powerful position. It's just not enough for me to be like, oh, okay, he'll make a good VP because he's good at stopping a soundbite.
But okay, then what has Kamala Harris done at VP?
VP's really just
nothing.
Second in command, really.
But you just said it's a very powerful position,
right? Because if something happens to the president, you're president,
right? So do you think? I mean, like, so like all they do are they just wait in line?
Well, all I know is that Kamala was a district attorney. She's been VP for about 4 years. She was a senator much longer than that. JD Vance wrote a book. He was a venture capitalist, and he was a senator for 2 years.
But the argument is that's coming out.
Didn't Kamala only have the one term as senator? She was only elected one time, and then they pulled her in for the VP. Like I don't think she was reelected.
Let me see.
But the argument is now is like you've been in the House for 4 years. What have you done? Nobody can really name anything. I think that's the big argument.
Well, what did Vance do when he was in the House?
No, he's saying the White House, right?
Oh, the White House.
Yeah, the White House. Yeah, the administration. Because Vance was only senator, right? He was never a rep, was he?
Was he in the House? He was only a senator. Before that, he was like, he's like a venture capitalist and author. He
was in politics for a while, though.
He's our age, right?
Because he was, he was like a big never Trumper.
I mean,
he was like
of people
hardcore
who
never
throw Trump were never Trumpers at some point.
A lot of people are, and then they switch.
Yeah, I know.
Well, I mean, it's because that's where the money is.
Yeah.
If you want to have any political sway, like you either get on board or you're just completely sidelined. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, what's he got? He's never going to be a Democrat. like at the end of the day, there's not enough there. So he's like, I'm just gonna get in line, bro. Like I'm gonna toe the. He'll disagree enough
Look at him.
where it doesn't affect him. Yeah,
yeah, and it's working out for him. Look at him. I mean, if you want the clout and the money, you gotta toe the line, and it really doesn't matter how you feel. I mean, you can argue too when he was a never Trumper, he was just towing the line too.
Yeah, but I mean, even when Trump was like the nominee, he was still a never Trumper, and when he got elected, like he was very anti-Trump.
A lot of people were.
God, he used to be a CNN contributor.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember, like, because he was around, like, weirdly, I'd heard of him here and there.
You sure it wasn't because of the hillbilly allergy? Man, I slurred that.
That's where he definitely kind of popped for sure. But I mean, there was something, I don't know. It's kind of hard. It's kind of hard to be a venture capitalist when you grow up in bumfuck. I don't understand how you do that. But he was like a lawyer, right? Like I think that's really
law school.
Yeah. But I don't know. Yeah, Vance is interesting to me. I think he's a very good speaker. I really liked him in a couple years ago when he was kind of like sticking to his principles because he was kind of going counter to the Republican narrative of like, hey, it's all Trump all day, and then he just kind of seemed like a sellout to me. Just like Tulsi Gabbard seems like a sellout to me right now when she just switched to the GOP. It's like, you're not a Republican. You're literally just doing this for notoriety.
I mean, so you can stay relevant.
Just stay a Democrat. It actually behooves like Trump's campaign to be like, we actually have a Democrat in our cabinet or whatever position they're going to give her. You know what I mean? Like now it just seemed like, I don't know. It's just weird to me.
It is strange. I mean, one of the things I just don't like about modern politics ever since I would say like 2015 is that everything has gotten so like just fake. Everything just feels fake.
I think everything was.
I think you're just older now and just seeing it for what it is.
Yeah.
I mean, I started to realize it during like Obama's term, but like I feel like it's just not that. I feel like it's just gotten much worse.
I think it's because of the internet has something to do with it.
It's because you got to get the soundbite. It's all about the clip.
That is true. Yeah, it's all about the soundbite. 100% all about the clip, the soundbite. What small thing you can take and blow it up to epic proportions, and pretty much define a person by that single word in like, let's say, a 3-hour interview.
And I mean, like, it's so funny too.
Unless you're Trump.
Trump gets the soundbite too. Like it's always like they say like one thing and then it's like this has been provided by Trump endorsement or something.
Yeah, but I mean what I mean is like the thing is Trump's like, give me the soundbite. You know what I mean? Like there's not one soundbite that defines Trump. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like you could pull out a soundbite from or a clip. Like you can pull out the moment where Kamala like lost the Democratic nominee against Biden, right? When Tulsi kind of like called her out for being like a really shitty district attorney, right? Or attorney general or whatever she was. Like, and it was just like, dude, it was like from that, boom, done. In the 2015 Republican primaries, you can pull out the clips like Jeb Bush dead, Marco Rubio dead. You know what I mean? Like,
I mean, back even before that, when the guy was just like, yeah, and that was it for him.
Oh, Howard Dean, right?
Howard Dean.
We're going there.
Wow, I wanted to vote for
Howard Dean. Oh my god, dude. Yeah. That was like the OG kind of like political like internet clip, like viral clip. You know what I mean?
Those were the best days.
That really, dude, it was really Dave Chappelle that did that.
Yeah. That was your team's wasn't that your basketball team name in college?
Yeah, it was something like that. Yeah. It was like yeah. Yeah. I forgot about that. Holy shit. We were so bad. It was great.
You just go.
Well, I mean, you had to lean into the bit, right? So you had to be bad.
Yeah, exactly. Also, I just can't shoot a basketball, so that didn't help.
But Did you guys see like on Rogan when see the thing with the Donald Trump interview on Rogan was he can he 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 also really couldn't say a whole lot of things. Like
you talking about Trump?
Yeah, like he would like if like Rogan would ask him a question and he would just take you on this magical ride to nowhere.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
But that's the big critique against him, right? Is like, Kamala has like very obvious word salad.
Yeah.
Where Trump just like, he's like I don't know, man. It's like a horse with like dementia. Yeah. You know what I mean? He just like kind of walks in a circle. You know what I mean? It's just like, and you're just like, wait, how do we get here? Yeah. And then he's just like, they tried to kill me. You're like, yeah. Like, it's crazy, dude.
Joe was like, so take me on the first day what it's like. And he was like, I just want to see the Lincoln Room. And then he just went like 30 minutes on the Lincoln Room. And I'm like, bro, dude, answer the question.
Yeah, there's a couple things where Joe's like, where he's like talking about the stolen. He's like, I'm gonna take you back to 2020. He's like, I got papers. Yeah. We could do a whole other thing. Joe's like, well, what issues? He's like, so many.
It was like they wrote books on it, and we're like, bro.
It was so bad. It's the standard, just like hyperbolic Trump. Like, just trust me, bro. Yeah. Like that's his thing, dude.
That is his motif, and people are legitimately just like.
And then he talked about the JFK papers.
Popular thing. That's the JFK papers is just meat for the base. People, there's still a lot of people out there that want to know what happened, and they should know what happened. But that's just red meat, because that shit he promised like 2016 too, that he would release more of the JFK files.
He said he couldn't release them because people that were involved are still alive,
which doesn't make sense because that happened in the
60s, right?
Yeah.
It's because I'm like.
Yeah, no, he said that. I was like, he's like, there's some addresses. I just and I was like, wait a minute, wait. And also, he didn't say that. He was just like, my favorite thing is like, he's like, they told me not to open them. I opened them a little bit.
A little bit.
That's what he said.
just cracked it open.
That's literally what he says, and you're just sitting there like, that's not what he meant.
I know.
Trump's like literally like, I physically opened it. And I was like, oh, and then it's just, it's so wild to me,
It's like they got one on Martin Luther King too.
Yeah, he's like, yeah.
One of the funniest clips was I
think he can't say anything because it's the government. Like they're always going to be like, oh, there's people.
No, he can't say anything because he didn't do any of that shit. That's the problem. There's no experience to draw from. He's just making it up. That's my problem with him.
He said, I looked at the couple pages and then somebody told me not to.
He's like, Mike Pompeo, he's a great guy. Mike Pompeo. He said, I shouldn't, Mr. President, don't do it.
And then when he talked about the aliens, he was
oh my God, dude, how made up was that? They're like, sir, we've seen some things. They were 4 times faster than an F-22. He's like, and that's a fast plane.
He's like, he was like, even good looking than Tom Cruise, better pilots, taller than Tom Cruise, and they're like, I've seen some things. And then he would take you on a wild ride.
It was the wildest thing, because I'm just like, he's obviously, they're like, sir, people care about, it's like he's been kind of briefed a little bit on it, and he's just like, oh, okay, I got it.
Yeah,
and he just makes it up.
He said that's the number one question he's always been asked, right? He says that's the most frequent question that he gets asked is the UFOs, and then he just takes you on a wild ride right out of that question.
It's because nothing ever happened. Because he never talked to these pilots.
No, he didn't.
That's what I'm saying. They were like, hey, a couple pilots have come out. He's like, okay, pilots, check. Okay, yeah. UFOs, check. All right. And he's like, what do I know about pilots? Top Gun.
Top Gun.
That's literally what it is. That's his reference point is Tom Cruise, dude.
Joe's like, yeah, I know the pilots have came out. They came on this show. Yeah. David Fravor, Ryan Graves, and he's like, great pilots. Great pilots.
Never heard of them. like,
and you're right. It was so obvious. He's never heard of it.
No idea. He had no idea.
You gotta admire the bullshitting.
That's what I'm saying. It's next level bullshitting. You know what I mean? Like,
there was one of the parts he was talking about, like putting businessmen in office as opposed to politicians, and he was just like, businessmen, you never know what you're getting with them. Not always some good, not always really good, but politicians, you know what you're getting, so you put the politicians in. And it's like, bro, you're a businessman, dude. What are you doing? Yeah.
He said that because when you're a politician, you've been vetted for over a certain amount of years in politics, whereas a businessman that hasn't been vetted.
Then how come he chose so many shitty politicians to put in his first administration?
He put like the Hardy CEO in his administration. He did say that was a big mistake. Awful.
He said that was a big mistake with the people around him.
No, here's my problem. He said, because Joe kind of gave him a lead. He's like, oh, you mean like you put in like neocons, right?
Yeah. I had to look that word up. I didn't know what that word meant.
Yeah, it's like the George Bush era right? Like kind of, really war hawky kind of guys. But the problem is Dick Cheney, John Bolton.
Okay.
All those guys, right?
That was a big name drop.
He said John Bolton. He's like, that guy is a fucking turd, pretty much. Right? That's what he said. But then he's like, but he didn't really he kind of like pushed away from the neocon, because then he's like, oh, Mike Pompeo, who's a huge neocon. Mike Pompeo is but he's like, I love Mike. Mike's a great guy. Massive neocon. Like probably the biggest neocon in his administration. Right? Yeah. 100 outside of John Bolton, Mike Pompeo is right there.
Dude.
Like it had nothing to it's not idea. It all comes down to loyalty.
Yeah.
Mike Pompeo has stayed loyal. John Bolton went and criticized him.
Yeah.
That's all it comes down to for him. He doesn't care. Because then remember for the John Bolton thing, he's like, yeah, my friend is really rich, in Vegas. He owns his own stuff. He's, really good at poker. Doesn't play poker, but he's great at it. Told me not to hire that guy. I said, I just hired him 2 weeks ago. And it's crazy because it's like, yeah, but dude, you're the president. You can just say, give me your resignation.
I'm pretty sure like when he hired, like he was going through them too. So when he hired like John Bolton, I'm pretty sure that was like last resort.
And you know what? I hate how he just answers questions, because it's never straight to the point. Like it's just so much fluff.
I have decided that like you watch Kamala, I just know she's just full of shit. It's obvious, right?
Yeah, it's so obvious.
But it's obvious she's trying to hide it.
Yeah.
And she's like, I get a sense of like insecurity. Trump he's not trying to hide that he's full of bullshit. He's just like, I'm here, brother. You know what I mean? Like that's the thing. And I think that's something that people view that as genuine, and they view her as like, this like kind of not so what's the word I'm looking for here? She's authentic. Like disingenuous, right? Yeah, she's not authentic, right? She comes off as inauthentic, and he comes off as like a genuine person.
Right.
That's the problem.
Yeah.
I don't
know. I agree, because like, dude, when first of all, like that 3 hours with Donald Trump, that's a long time. You could get a pretty good idea. And then, dude, when he was just talking and rambling on,
it was not a good episode. Like,
and it's so like people like, so I noticed this too with the Donald Trump and Elon Musk, is like people with those type of personalities, they tend to just keep talking over people. You know what I mean?
I mean, that Elon and Trump interview was kind of painful.
It was painful. So painful.
It was painful.
Because Elon doesn't shut up.
Elon doesn't shut up, but like the whole time he was like trying not to get Trump to clam up to him. Like when he was talking about how we should be like, green energy is cool and all, but we shouldn't be against like the gas industry, and just how he just like pussyfooted around it the whole time was just so weird.
Oh, yeah, but Elon's always kind of held that position, like, hey, we can't kill off fossil fuels yet. We need them.
It just did not come off like that, though. It just came off like he just didn't want to get Trump riled up.
Yeah,
Trump is very strong on the on gas.
Well, yeah, because that's where he gets a lot of support from him. I mean,
like,
he also like promised, huh?
Trump was saying how we got liquid gold here, you know, and he was saying, what did he say? He said, the tariffs. What do you guys think about the tariffs?
I think it's a bad idea.
I think it's a pretty good idea, though.
Why?
So his thing with the tariffs is do tariffs and get rid of income tax. That's his new thing, right?
Yeah, that's the thing. Libertarian dream.
It just sounds like bad news bears to me.
Yeah.
Because, okay, think about it. Tariffs are a inherently inflationary mechanism, right? Say we move all manufacturing here. A lot of our raw materials still come from abroad.
Right.
So you're going to have an increase in prices, right? You're probably going to have an increase in sales tax because you got to pay for shit somehow. The people you're trying to like save money by getting rid of income tax are going to be hurt the most, because most of the time people in the lower, like 60% of the tax bracket really don't pay any taxes at all when they go to file and they get their refunds.
Right.
So they're already paying zero tax, and now they're going to have a hot economy with crazy inflation. So who really benefits? It's going to be the people up at the top who can already afford it anyway.
I thought he was getting more at like.
No, it's just a good idea, Fairy. To me, it sounds good. Get rid of income tax, and then impose this tariff on.
When did he say get rid of income tax?
That's his like new thing.
Yeah. He's been on it for a couple of weeks now.
I didn't know that. He didn't say that in the interview, did he?
I don't think he said it on Rogan, but he's all about tariffs and getting rid of income tax.
Because the way how he made it seem with the tariffs was like, he used that example with the chip company in Taiwan, how we get all our chips from Taiwan. He was like, if you tariff them, then they're gonna want to build their chip company in America, and then you don't have to.
Well, that's what the CHIPS Act was for that Biden passed.
For the what?
That's what the CHIPS Act was for. What Biden passed.
But they didn't levy a tariff
on it though, right?
No, there was no tariff on it.
Yeah, so I mean, like, you're still gonna be outcompeted by the company.
But here's the thing. So say you do that, how long does it take to build that kind of facility in the States?
Probably a year.
No, it's like 5 or 6 years, up to a decade, to build those kind of high-tech facilities.
Really?
Yeah, think about it. They invested all this infrastructure years ago, and so now they just retool them, right? But the facility itself and the infrastructure is already there. But like, yeah, so the one Samsung tried to build one in Texas, it ended up not working out. Like, they've tried to build them. There's that one in Ohio that's just empty.
Why didn't it not?
No, there was another one in Michigan too.
Yeah, there's a couple of them. It was the cost was just incredibly high.
Yeah,
and like they couldn't offer enough tax breaks to these guys, so they were like, build the buildings, and then they
couldn't
worth it. Outfit them. So then what do you do? So then the economy's got to suffer for a couple years while these tariffs are in place, and you're hoping that these plants work out.
Yeah, it's gonna be very interesting because
yeah, it's just not that cut and dry when they talk. They talk about like it's black and white, but at the end of the day,
it's not.
Like this,
it's really not. Yeah,
it's just, I don't know. Tariffs to me, like, I think on some things they make sense, but on other things, it's just like you can't just have a blanket like everything from China tariffed.
Yeah, well, because that's what they were saying with that car company from China,
BYD. Which one is it? Oh yeah, Neo and BYD and all. Dude, there's so many of them out here in Europe.
Dude, because they're so cheap. They're so cheap.
Yeah,
I hear they're cheap, and they're
like $10,000.
They actually are pretty good cars.
They're better than the Teslas, and they cost like $10,000. Dude, that's insane.
Yeah, I mean, they got those batteries and stuff, and
they said
the software. The software is a little funky, but also like you got the Chinese government in your pocket, like following you around. Like, oh,
so crazy how that is.
But
he said they were gonna make the factory in New Mexico and then ship them to the United States, and they were like,
they're like, sir, that is the United States. He's like, yeah. It's the best. It's the greatest state. It's the greatest state in Mexico. Like, I think if you're gonna tariff stuff, you should tariff stuff so you could be like, hey, you could easily make this in America. Yeah. You're not doing it because, like, Nike shoes, like clothing, stuff like that. You know what I mean? Like, don't tariff the raw materials, just tariff the manufactured retail goods. You know what I mean? Like, there's like things like that make sense. Mm-hmm. But like chips, high tech stuff, where it's just going to take you a decade to get there. Why? Nobody wins.
I didn't know it takes like that long. I thought you just set up.
It takes a long time. Well, then you got to set up. Then you got to find a skilled workforce to work all that stuff.
Yeah.
You know, it's just not feasible.
And then he talked about the war. How close are we to like nuclear war?
I mean, it depends on who you ask.
The only reason why I say that is because like like the Danny Sheehan lecture, he said we're very close. Trump says like that's our biggest threat on the Rogan podcast. He was like the nuclear weapons are our biggest threat. And he said, "Don't underestimate. I can't say that word, but
underestimate.
Yeah, North Korea, because he said he saw their nuclear facility and it's top tier.
First of all,
top tier. I don't think it's good. I don't think it's top tier.
What qualifies Donald Trump to be like, God, this is crazy nuclear facility, dude? I just imagine his visit to North Korea was like from The Interview. You know what I mean? They're playing Katy Perry.
Yeah.
He goes to the store thinking there's real food there. He's like, wait, this isn't real. You know, like
he's like, I saw the computer labs. They're working on high-tech papers over there. I know they are.
Really, it's like a billboard or something.
Yeah, have you ever seen the videos of like or the pictures of people with computers in North Korea?
It's the best thing Vice ever came out with.
It's the best. Most of them aren't doing anything. They're just sitting there. And they all have the same screen because like none of the computers work.
Like staring at the Google homepage, just not typing anything.
It's phenomenal.
It probably blew his mind to see that.
But like, yeah, he's like, oh, they turned them on here.
You know? They got high-tech computers. I just know it.
The best.
The best.
So, you know,
but I love North Korea, man. I love the videos that come out of North Korea, even like the TikToks and stuff, because they do have like TikToks and shit in North Korea. Obviously, it's like, you know,
do they really?
Yeah, obviously, it's like it's straight propaganda. But dude, it is so funny to see them. Because they'll have like a North Korean who has like perfect English accent, like British accent, going like, "Oh yes, this is what we do in North Korea. I'm just going to the water park with my friends, and everyone's having a good time." It's like so obviously fake. And there's like subreddits like
and action.
There's why? I feel like why is it their like priority to make sure that the world knows that they are not a dictatorship living, you know what I mean? Like, why is it like their priority?
Just like any of these other countries that have like a dictatorship, just to alter global perspectives, you know, just to have some opposition of people going like, hey, the DPRK isn't all that bad. I mean, I feel like it's how our political sphere is right now. It's rife for altering perspectives because people just want to be contrarians nowadays. I mean, you'll see like Twitter leftists going like North Korea is actually pretty based, you know? You will.
Yeah. I know it's sad, but no, but I mean, but also you like they have to create these propaganda machines. They're like, hey, we have to do this, right? Because we have to show our people we are fighting against the imperialist. So like that's what it is, right? Like Kim Jong-un and his inner circle know it's all bullshit, but the people who they put in charge of these like actual like apparatus, they're like, this is what we are charged to do. We will do it. You know what I mean? Like, it's that weird, like, you know, even though they're just throwing it out to the ether and everybody's just laughing at it, you know, like these poor people, like, it is, but like these people really believe what they're putting out. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's even people like non-North Koreans who, I mean, like you can take a tour to North Korea and there's people that will do it every year going like, you know, it's so great. Yeah. The guards at the 38th parallel smile at me. That's how you know they're nice.
Yeah.
They let me take a picture.
So they
North Korea is a threat, though. Like, don't even the fact that they're putting people into Ukraine is kind of scary.
Yeah,
because there is now the potential that like South Korea could get drawn in, and not only that, there was like this article the other day, or like maybe a week ago. They're like, hey, the North Koreans are beginning to build things along the DMZ, and we're not sure what they are.
Mm-hmm. Really?
I think they're like bunkers and stuff, like potentially.
Really?
Yeah, like almost like they're waiting for a reason.
See, that's the thing. Like, we're so close. That's why I asked that question, because I feel like, Israel's bombing countries. Ukraine and Russia's in war. And I know to you guys, you're like, oh, they've always been doing. But I feel like it's been escalated. Like, it's very, very high. And I know, like, they have a doomsday clock. Have you ever heard of that?
Yeah.
Do you guys believe in that?
I mean, at the end of the day, it's just an opinion.
It is just an opinion. But they say, like, we're like 90 seconds away from midnight or whatever.
Yeah.
Like, it's the closest it's ever been.
But didn't it start at like 11:55?
I know,
like started it.
Like, it's like always been like a minute away.
We're always 5 minutes away from doomsday, dude. I don't know. I get what they're trying to do, because like they're looking at political tension. Yeah, it is. But that's the thing. It's based on nuclear war, right? Like that's the doomsday clock. I mean, really, I think Israel, all they're out to do right now is to prove that Iran's toothless. I mean, what they did to Hezbollah is pretty impressive.
That's pretty much weird.
Dude, they're always it's always like, the next guy up just got killed again. Got killed again.
I watched the video of them killing Sinwar.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Oh, Sinwar. Oh, the Palestinian. Oh, now all of a sudden is like a martyr. Like, obviously that's the risk they run when they kill these guys.
I mean, to be honest, if I was Israel, I wouldn't release the video. I'd just say, "Oh, we killed him behind a bunch of children's shields," and be done with it.
Yeah, but really, what was happening was he was probably moving to another.
He was
tunnel.
Not moving. He was just sitting in that chair.
No. I mean, the reason he was there is they were trying to move him to another location.
Oh, okay.
You know what I mean? It's not like he was on the front lines trying to fight.
Mm-hmm.
He was being moved, and then they found him by accident, like literally by accident.
That's crazy.
And they got into a firefight with him, and then they called in the artillery on it because they were like really fighting back. But yeah, odds are he was moving to another location to be hidden again, and they had to bring him out of the tunnels and bring him somewhere.
That's crazy.
It's so interesting, but like, I know, like, global conflict and nuclear war is scary, but like, I just don't see with Kamala or Trump that anything's going to de-escalate.
Oh, no.
Yeah,
no, for sure. Even though Trump is like, I'll have the war stop. Good luck, bro.
He won't say how.
He's also very pro-Israel.
Yeah, he'll let Israel continue. He's not going to stop him.
Isn't he in their pocket?
Oh, I mean,
look at Miriam Adelson. I mean, he loves her, and she's one of his biggest donors, if not the biggest.
No, I mean, look, his son-in-law is Jared Kushner.
It's true.
Like, they're like hardcore, like AIPAC Israeli, defenders, right?
Like
the
Abraham Accords, man.
Ivanka, I mean, that's why he took point on that, is because he's Jewish.
Yeah.
Ivanka converted to Judaism. All his grandkids are Jewish.
Yep.
Like
now that
he also has a lot of Israeli donors, and Bibi fucking loves him. They named a town after him.
He moved. I mean, remember he moved the embassy to Jerusalem, and then they didn't really move it. Like, it's still in Tel Aviv, but they reopened the consulate in Jerusalem.
Now, I'm not a fan of the fear mongering thing.
I mean, you're gonna find out no matter what side you're on, dude.
Yeah, right. But I mean, like, they like with the height of these nuclear weapons, and then like they're saying like they're comparing it to with the warming of the earth or whatever. Like, do you guys believe in that global warming thing?
Yeah, I believe in climate change. I mean, you can measure it.
Is it climate change or is it global warming? Right? They kind of they kind of refocused it to, first it was global warming, literally the warming of the planet. Now it's like, okay, now the climate is being affected by whatever, right?
Yeah, because the idea is that global warming will melt the ice caps, and then that will usher in the new ice age as the Earth adjusts.
Well, no,
so that was global warming. That's not climate change, though.
Right.
It's the same.
But here's the thing.
It's not. Climate change is way more nebulous and less direct.
But here's the thing, though. They said there's like this, I guess like this methane,
like a deposit or something.
Yeah, this methane deposit under a sheet of ice, and if the ice melts, it puts like 40% of that methane in our atmosphere, and then we're like completely cooked. Like I forget. Hold on, I'll look it up. Elon Musk was talking about it, and then other people are now starting to come out and talk about it.
It's because global warming was supposed to be drastic, right? Because by now we were all supposed to be underwater. Like that's the way they talked about it. Climate change is a lot more. It's a little bit slower, a little more gradual. It's like, hey guys, like if we keep doing this, we will affect the climate, which will do blah 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 X, Y, and Z over this amount of time. Where global warming was very much like, if you don't stop right now, we're all dead in 10 years. And that's why they kind of altered it, and they kind of changed the wording and the connotation of the thing. But I mean, climate change is real, dude. Like, there's no doubt.
And so like you got
what's affecting it can be up for debate, but it's like the climate's changing for sure.
Yeah, and the chemistry of the earth is changing. Like everything is changing.
I don't know about that. That was a very Donald Trump thing to say. The chemistry of the earth is changing. What does that even mean?
Hold on. I got that from Donald Trump. No, I'm just playing.
There's no way. That doesn't even make any sense.
Well, like, no, Elon Musk said, like, well, if this methane, if the sheet of ice or whatever and the deposits get into the atmosphere, it will change the chemistry of the earth, which will in fact change the weather and
maybe the atmosphere. That's the chemical composition of the atmosphere.
Yeah.
Right. He's talking about percentage wise, right?
Yeah. And then it will completely just, with the
destabilize the ecosystems and everything. Yeah.
So with all this happening, right? Do you think both of that stuff is real?
Yeah.
To be honest, I don't know anything about this Musk and methane thing. So
I'll send it to you.
I mean, you can say what you want about Elon Musk. He's been he's an environmentalist, like kind of through and through.
Oh, for sure.
Like,
for sure.
That's all he's ever really done. It's kind of that environmental stuff for the last, decade with Tesla and the push for EVs. And I think he's just more of a realist than a lot of climate enthusiasts would like him to be. He's just more pragmatic about it.
I don't know. Then why is he hitching his bet with a side that kind of wants to deny it's even happening at all?
I think he thinks that there is I think he's more worried about the societal portion of it now than anything else.
It's the Siberian tundra.
I mean, I guess that makes sense. Like in the Urals and stuff like that, up in Siberia.
But it's like there's like this huge methane deposit. But I mean, like, he's not the only one that's been talking about it. The only reason why I bring this up is because Dan Sheehan.
Okay, now it makes
your sense. Boy. Oh my God, here we go, full circle. Buckle up, Jordan. Here we go.
He is the one. He was talking about this. This is why I was trying to get your guys' opinion, because he was saying, we're so close to nuclear war. He brought up the doomsday, and then he brought up the this thing too with the climate changing, and then if we melt the that Siberian tundra, that methane will get into our atmosphere and completely alter.
Is it methane or is it CO2?
I think it's methane. Okay. And they say it's like 40 times more potent than the CO2 that would be in the atmosphere.
So here's my thing with Mr. Sheehan here. He's not a climate scientist, right? All he's doing is spouting off what he's heard in the past, right?
But here's the thing, because I did my my due diligence on this guy, right?
Lay it on us.
So he's a Harvard law student, or not student, graduate. He has his master's in law. He is the guy that he put up his case against that guy, Oliver North. Like, he's the reason why Oliver North.
Wait, he was part of the Iran.
He's that guy. He's that guy. He's that guy.
He's the one who put away Oliver North for a while.
He's that guy. He's the guy. He's the one that got the case or whatever. And dude, so he's him. You know, he's been with other like controversial subjects and stuff like that. I mean, like, he has his credentials are very good. So like, when you listen to what he is saying is very, and then it can be credible, right? Especially if he's a lawyer to some of these high end.
Is it actually credible, or does it come off as credible? I feel like those are two different things.
Well, that's why I asked for your guys' opinion, because like,
yeah, because I know he was like involved in like the Pentagon Papers and like a couple like, you know, kind of that more like government secrecy kind of, you know, which is why he got into the UFO stuff. But like outside of that, like he has no real, I think most of that stuff's opinion. I don't see him as like a credible, like I view Musk as more of an authority on that kind of stuff than the UFO guy.
See, I think you're labeling him as a UFO guy. He's done so much more. That's why I said he did.
But nothing related to that kind of stuff, though.
As in, like, climate change?
Like climate kind of environmentalism stuff.
Well, I bring that up only because he talked about it, and he was saying how much he was connecting the dots, how like our climate, we're like at the point of no return with our climate, right? Like,
which is debatable,
but is it getting hotter every year?
Yeah. So here's my question. We say this, it's the point of no return, but like we've gone through ice ages, we've gone through warming periods in the past, and we're still here.
But were people present though during those times?
Yeah, we were in the last ice age.
Yeah, that's how Native Americans came about, man.
Yeah, there's an ice bridge, literally.
Yeah.
What I'm saying is, we say the point of no return
for civilization.
The no return to what? They really think civilization is going to crumble, or are we just going to adapt? We're trying to go to Mars, sir. All right.
I get that, but do you think if there was like some kind of
occupy Mars?
You think if there's a catastrophic thing, like you think like name one civilization that survived a catastrophic thing?
The thing is, even if I don't think it's going to end humanity, but humanity's definitely going to look tribes, a lot different if the environment collapsed. Because again, like let's say a new ice age comes about, that's going to be the end of America. That's going to be the end of Europe. Everyone has to migrate south, or at least near the equator. And it's just everything's going to change, and there's going to be a lot of growing pains, especially with a high traffic migration.
What about the same thing goes with nuclear war, right?
Well, nuclear war, humanity won't survive.
We will always humans will always survive.
We won't survive a nuclear winter. There's just no way.
Your boy Neil deGrasse Tyson said there's no nuclear winter anymore with these new bombs.
What, like the hydrogen bomb?
He said like because the bombs are so sophisticated or something, there's no nuclear winter that would occur.
How would it not occur? You can't launch one bomb at like let's say another nuclear power, and things won't. They're going to launch all their payloads. I mean, like Russia still has their dead hand mechanism.
I'm just saying what your boy Neil deGrasse Tyson said. I mean,
so I remember
I love Neil deGrasse Tyson. I love him. He's very smart. He's one of the smartest people, but he's also a yapper too.
Nobody really knows what will happen if you detonate.
So you know what's so funny is like I remember I was when I was getting my first graduate degree in international relations. Yeah, I ended up aging, but I sat in this class, and you know we were like, okay, the teacher definitely leaned more right, but he was a really good teacher. And then I had another teacher who leaned left. It was really cool. Like they were like really great, like professors. Very interesting takes on international relations and that kind of stuff. And we looked at this study. It was like, if Russia and the U.S. detonated all their arsenal, would it end life as we know it? And the answer was no.
Did they give a reason?
Yeah, it was just there's not enough there. Like a nuclear bomb only affects so much space, right? It's only a couple miles. And the vastness of Earth itself, it was just impossible for it to really end the human race as we know it. It was like impossible. Now, that's not to say that other things could not have like been a chain reaction, but like from a pure standpoint of like nuclear, like weapon on weapon explosions and detonations, it was like not.
It's so like nuclear war is so scary because once one goes off, every single one of them is going off. That's the crazy part. It's like it's not just.
But also, you gotta hope that every single one goes off.
That's
you
true.
fire one weapon, that's a dud.
So here's the thing. So this is what Danny Sheehan is saying. He's saying that there would be something from above would stop it.
Like an alien?
No, that's what he's hoping.
I don't know if that's what he's hoping, but that's what they're saying.
That's the theory.
That it's not a. It is a theory.
How come they did poor Hiroshima and Nagasaki?
Well, that's when they started appearing.
The people above just did not care about.
But if they knew it was going to happen anyway,
no, they didn't know. No, they didn't know it was going to happen when the UFOs started really appearing. Once we dropped the bomb.
No, once we've reported it, UFOs have been around forever.
There is a theory that there's been more UFO activity because they detected that we have reached nuclear capability.
Hold on, Chris, you're right about that.
Like
that's the prevailing theory.
Yeah, it's because they detected this. How do you detect nuclear activity if you're light years away? If we had only started detonating it for a couple years.
I mean, who knows what they have if they can travel all the way to Earth?
Well, no, the whole thing is everybody's like, oh, there may be future humans.
Right? Oh, yeah, there's some people like that. The ancient time traveler theory, yeah.
Or it's a parallel universe.
Well, if it's a parallel universe, then they already knew that 1945 was going to happen, and they let it happen, baby.
But here's the thing. That's what he says. So he said
they've never stopped any nuclear test. They've never stopped anything else
that we know of.
They did shoot there's a video of them shooting some warhead in the sky. A UFO comes and hits it with a laser beam, and then it duds out.
There is no way that's real.
Swear to God.
There's no way.
God, dude.
This is starting to sound like the Jewish space lasers.
Right? That's what I was like. First of all, they're like, we're going to make this laser beam red so they see it happen. Like, what are we talking about here?
They have it on video.
My thing is, I always like that these videos, these theories are always in ways that we can understand. Even though this is a highly advanced civilization that has achieved space flight, but it could be things that we could never even fathom. Like if we found like beings as advanced as us, I feel like we can't even really fathom what they could possibly look like. They'd be carbon based for all we know.
Non-carbon based is what you mean?
Yeah, not because we're carbon based.
Yeah,
but the thing is that nobody really knows, but Danny Sheehan went on this lecture and he was just saying a whole bunch of stuff that was so far out.
Exactly, dude.
But I mean, like, this guy put away Oliver North.
So
he should have put away Reagan. He's the one who did it.
This guy, he's a lawyer from Harvard, the credential.
So what does it do with anything?
He is the lawyer for these whistleblowers.
So?
And so you're just saying he's just nonsense?
I'm just saying he's just one person in a sea of millions.
No, he's part of a collective.
A collective. The collective. I believe they like to be called.
The deep state.
It's like, everybody's so quick to be like, hey, look at this guy. He's super fucking credible. Super credible. He's a lawyer from Harvard. You know how many lawyers there are from Harvard? You believe every single one?
But this guy put away Oliver North.
Yeah? What about the ones that couldn't put away O.J. Simpson?
He was the one that put it. He
Oliver North is like a Fox contributor now.
Yeah, Ollie North has been around for a minute.
Yeah,
but I'm just saying, like
every now and then I'll shoot him a tweet over Twitter.
I mean, you just take it as a grain of salt. He was like, you have people putting flags.
George W. Bush went to Yale. Like, what are we talking about here?
Baby.
Yeah, the skull and bone. Like, we could start throwing around people's schools all day. Like, what does that have to do with anything?
What is the skull and bones? They don't exist.
Skull and bones? Whatever. You don't want to get killed, do you? I'm part of Skull and Bones. I'm part of the Clinton chapter.
You can't say that name on the internet.
Oh, man. Shit.
What are you doing, bro?
I'm about to wake up dead.
Oh my God. Ain't no party like an Epstein party.
Oh, now it's Diddy party. Those where it's at now.
Oh my God, the Diddy stuff is wild, dude. And I feel like the evidence has been there for a long time.
But people have been saying, look, here's another thing too, right?
By Kevin Hart.
People have been saying
Williams.
There has been stuff going on in the industry, right? The P. Diddy people, the Epstein people. You'll never get a P. Diddy list. You'll never get an Epstein list.
Let me tell you what, though.
You won't.
The P. Diddy stuff was pretty wild.
Do you think he'll die? Get killed?
No, because I don't think there's no political issue here at the end of the day. Maybe everybody wants the Obamas and stuff, but really at the end of the day, it's a bunch of like fucking weird elites. To me, this is like the Bohemian Grove of like the music industry. You know what I mean? Of like the entertainment industry. This is what it is.
I think it's all the same. I think
nobody's letting P. Diddy into the Bohemian Grove. Like,
I think that's the problem is people think that it's not.
I think that's a whites only club.
I think it's. Well, I mean, like, look at his mentor, right? Clyde Davis.
You know what? I want them to reopen the Tupac case. The Biggie case. Now that Diddy is going down,
I think they are.
Because I've heard a lot of people for like over a decade going like, I think it was Diddy who killed Biggie.
Everybody said that.
No, I mean, as soon as he got caught, I was starting to rethink it. I was like, maybe.
I mean, some of the stuff Biggie said no, and he's like, "I'm gonna kill this guy. I'm gonna kill this motherfucker."
And then he did that cover song from The Police.
Yeah, oh my God, my favorite part about that is Sting made so much money off of that.
Oh yeah, he's still making money from it.
Didn't he?
Still making money.
Like all the royalties go to Sting.
Yeah, and he even performed it with him at MTV Music Awards and sued him, dude.
Yeah,
it's the best.
Yeah, I forgot about that. Yeah.
Oh my God. Yeah. I feel like the Diddy thing though is just more depraved than anything else. You know what I mean? Like, it's not like a sex trafficking ring. It's more, I mean, there's a little bit of extortion and stuff, I'm sure, but I think it's just a bunch of fucking weirdos. Just, I mean, you got to feel bad for like Justin Bieber.
Oh, yeah.
And all those guys,
Oh, yeah. 100%. You got to feel bad for them. Because
yeah.
Shit's fucked up, man. It's fucked up.
But that's, dude.
Usher's going down. All those guys.
Are they going down? Because they've been saying they've been going down for months.
But didn't Usher move in with him at like 14 years old or something like that?
Something like that.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah. Like being groomed. Like this is some like, crazy cult level shit.
Mm-hmm.
You guys ever really look into like the occult?
Yeah, I love the occult, dude.
Yeah,
do you really?
Oh my god, it's so interesting.
Yeah, I like the Third Reich occultism. It's always interesting.
Do you guys
weird? Like,
do you guys believe in it?
Not really, but man, there is some wild shit that's
out. How can you not believe in it? It's so like powerful, so strong.
What do you mean powerful and strong? Define.
Because I mean, like, because I would say that because like first, like once, like the Nazis, right? The Nazis was a big thing about it, like with the real energy and all that stuff. And then once they got taken over, the CIA took everything and then started applying what the Nazis learned from it and started doing here to the American people. And
I mean, for the record, it wasn't just what the SS were doing, which were the primary people doing the occultism. I mean, Hitler didn't even really care for it very much. He thought it was stupid.
How can you say he did it? How can you say Hitler
it was mostly Himmler that was the occultist. It wasn't really Hitler at the end of the day. I mean, he encouraged it, but he didn't really participate.
Time out. I'm gonna cut you off right there.
Okay.
What was Hitler's strength? He knew how to talk. He knew how to charm people.
Yeah, because he was groomed into being that. He was unpolished for a while.
But that charismatic, that is occult power right there.
Is it? I mean, dude, he was an agent of the state when he started speaking, and then people in the early Nazi party, before they were really the Nazi party, decided, oh man, there's something here, and then groomed him. There's pictures of him like trying out different things. He was just a really good speaker, and then he just honed his craft. It took him years.
I'm telling you, it's from that occult thing, like.
I mean, he started speaking before this occult thing started coming around.
Man, dude, that charismatic, the way that you got people to fall in line like that is a power that only comes from the occult. That's what makes
charisma only comes from charisma and magnetism only comes from a cult.
Look at cult leaders. That's what they do.
Then would you say Donald Trump's part of the occult?
He probably has some type of.
Because I mean, that guy has got people who just
believe
he can do no wrong.
But it's at the same time you're doing. It's like you got the same thing going with the Kamala, with the Democratic Party.
I don't think everyone believes everything she says.
No, that's different. Like yeah, nobody. No, it's not about Kamala. It's about the party.
Yeah, but I mean, nobody.
The other side is about Trump. Trump is the party. Right.
And I mean, like honestly, look, like what he says, like it's. I don't drink, I don't smoke. A lot of charismatic people that if you do it, because like the occult, if you really dive deep in the occult, it's like it stems from like ancient like religions type stuff. Like the powers. That's why like in the Third Reich, they went and looked for all the ancient artifacts and stuff like that. For like weapons, because dude, they took the swastika off of Buddha's chest. Like I mean, it stems from like like the.
I mean, really, we think about it. The cult is looking for natural explanations to explain the supernatural, right? So they're like,
yeah,
what can we find that naturally occurring to make us better than everybody else, right? To make us like superhuman,
right?
But like. Yeah, I don't know. It's interesting.
Like, I like it. I like it. And like people that and there's something to be said about the occult. Like, what is the occult, right? It's hidden knowledge, right? That's what occult means, right? It's hidden knowledge.
Hidden knowledge, or the pursuit of hidden knowledge, which was definitely what their gain was, especially to push the whole notion of the Aryan Superman,
But that's the problem. The hidden knowledge is really about who you are and what you're capable of doing, right? Like anybody can be charismatic or have these occult powers and stuff like that. It's just you don't know the knowledge to do so. And it's not like it's just we live in a society that completely just does the opposite of people to not make you the best version of you.
I don't know, man. To me, the Nazis were grasping at straws with their occultism. Obviously, the CIA and U.S. did take a lot of their research because they took research from everything. We took all of the research from everything, so of course it would include the occultism too, just to experiment. Oh, what did they know that we possibly could learn from? It doesn't mean we took it all that seriously, you know.
And I would call you a fool if you think that, if you don't think they took it seriously.
Well, why if the occultism is so real, why did the Nazis lose?
Maybe it was just that time.
They barely really lasted.
Did they really lose? Because if their knowledge is still standing strong, I mean, like some of the people, the only person that really lost was Hitler because everybody else got captured and came here.
Well, the scientists, the occultists committed suicide.
The sweatshirt that you're wearing it's a Nazi.
I don't think Werner von Braun was part. He was an SS officer.
Minimally. Really? You don't think he was part of it?
Werner von Braun? Not really, no.
I mean, he was definitely a Nazi.
He was definitely a Nazi. He loved the labor to get his rockets going. He was more than willing to use slave labor.
I mean, the dude had a dueling scar. Like the dude was a hardcore Nazi.
Here, man?
Now, was he an occultist Nazi? Probably not. But he was definitely a hardcore Nazi.
Dude, look, I just don't think he was all that in the Thule Society.
Dude, I'll tell you what, UFO and occults, they go hand in hand too, man. They do. I swear to God.
Well, there's definitely overlap, yeah.
And
yeah, because it's a bunch of weirdos looking for answers, either in the sky or down here. Like, what do you want?
I'm telling you.
What do you expected? Like, of course they overlap because people are always drawing parallels to things they can't understand.
That's not a bad thing. I mean, nobody will understand. I mean, our understanding of the reality changes within.
But what I'm saying is, like, why, like, it's just easy for them to draw parallels because it's like, oh, this because of this. I know something you don't know. That's all it comes down to.
It's not always.
It always comes down to that. It always comes down to I know something you don't know, and you should listen to me because
that's like
a lawyer from Harvard.
That's the big thing about like QAnon. It's just like everyone will wake up to I'm right one day. Just you wait.
Yeah.
Everyone will say they're sorry.
There's an art of persuasion. It's not because I know something you don't know. You're telling me Hitler didn't have
Everyone
that art
likes
of
a mystery,
down?
Man.
What?
Everyone likes a mystery.
Persuasion isn't a mystery.
Well, I mean, like, you're trying to persuade people into looking into these mysteries, right? Or did I misheard you?
I mean,
persuasion and the occult aren't mutually exclusive. They're mutually exclusive in any way.
No, because here's the thing with the occult. It focused more. It focused more on your like energy, like attractive energy. Like everything.
That's not how the Nazis looked at it. The Nazis looked at it to validate their worldview.
Mm.
They didn't. It wasn't the other way around. It's not like they had these beliefs. You know, but they said this is what we believe. Blah blah blah. This is our worldview, and to prove it, we're going to find ancient history that's going to support us, and it's going to make us, you know, a stronger race. That's all it was.
And a lot of that occultism was kind of cracked down, especially like in like the late 1943, mostly because number A, it wasn't really helping. B, it was a distraction. And C, they did a lot. They allocated a lot of funds to figure out, hey, Italy was Rome and we lived in mud huts at the time. So
yeah, they actually hid a lot of what they found.
Yeah.
What about all the occult symbolism here in like DC and stuff like that? You guys ever
like the Freemasons?
Yeah. But I mean, that's still like, even though it's Freemason stuff is still occult.
Well, yeah, but it's just because of symbolism. Like, what? Okay.
At the end of the day, it was just a fraternity, basically.
So the Nazis were just a fraternity.
Well, I'm not going to call the Freemasons
government
Nazis.
But I'm saying is like, if all these groups are using the same occult symbols and occult, you know, like special, like,
but there's only so many freaking symbols out there. They're all but if they're all drawn from the same source, like, what are you gonna expect any different?
So where do you get the source from, right? Where do you find the source? Because there's so many different names, so many.
Humanity only goes back so far, bro.
I know, but that's what I'm trying.
And they're looking as far back as they can find.
But that's what I'm trying to get at. There's so many different groups that use the same source, and I mean, like,
because they're trying to find out what the ancient humans knew. That's all they care about, is like, how old is this knowledge? Because they equate age with value, right? Like, at the
why though?
Because we all do.
But no, I mean,
age and wisdom go together.
Why do they want to know so much about what ancient humans knew?
Because they're not seeing value in what's going on today. And because because we're so far beyond what people were, and we have this like weird mythical perception of what people could have been back in the day.
Yeah. We do uphold like legends cavemen? Of our past. I mean,
like
no, but it's not. They're not looking at the cavemen, right? They're looking at early societies.
Yeah, like antiquity, like the pharaohs, the pyramids, Julius Caesar, Alexander the Great.
These early even the pharaohs, but that came out of nowhere, right? That's the thing and that's why we were like, hey, where did these come from?
Even the pharaoh. I mean, like the ancient Egypt's religion was all occultic, all esoteric, all of that stuff, so deep. But I mean, like, it got mainstream, and so you don't know what to look for, and people look at it like they had 1,000 gods or stuff like that.
Well, no, it's just think about it. The Egyptians, the Romans, whoever you want to say, these are civilizations that had a written language that could pass things on, and that's why all the stuff is drawn from these very few sources. And these are people who believed in crazy stuff. And then if you believe what they said is the word of like literally their word was like actually what happened, then yeah, it's like, holy shit, these guys talk to the gods. But if you don't interpret it, like, right, like, you know, when people look at the Bible and take it literally, people are like, you're crazy. What are you doing? Like, there's obviously stories here. But then for whatever reason, when we look at like the Egyptians, we're like, well, this had to have happened. They would not have lied to us. You know what I mean? Like, what are we talking about?
No, I don't know what you mean. What do you like?
I mean, so, you look at like old battle accounts, dude. Like even during like early Ottoman Empire, they're always just like, oh, there's 10 Janissaries, and they took down at least 40,000 Byzantines by themselves. Yeah. Like, you're not taking it as gospel, you know. But like people, especially heads of state, love to embellish their accomplishments like ridiculously.
I don't think it like that. I think personally, like, if you look at like all these occult or cult leaders, like what they have in common, how they
all died.
They all died, but I mean, like, they all had like these extreme followers. Like, we're in an election right now, and like that's what they want. You want followers, you know what I mean? And for a leader to be a leader, they typically do these occult practices or have these occult disciplines to generate followers.
Or did the occult just adopt these because they're powerful? Why are they mutually exclusive to the occult?
Because that's what it is. It's the occult. Like, that's how you like generate and form a cult, right?
No, occult and cult are two different things. That's not the same thing.
They still do the same.
No, that's not. There's a complete. A cult is not occult. A cult, a cult, is not a cult always.
It's the same principle.
Not really. I mean, like, Christianity's a cult. Technically,
there is a cult, and then there is the occult. Those are two different things, dude.
You typically, if somebody,
you're conflating words right now, you're taking words and you're putting them together.
Nah, I know what I'm talking about. It typically, when somebody starts a cult, they typically learn about the occult, dive in and start doing those disciplines, and then they gather followers, and then they form a cult.
They're not mutually exclusive, is what I'm saying.
They're not. I mean, like, I have a lot of books on the occult.
And you know nothing about it.
What are you talking about? I have like the Malleus Maleficorum. I have the Lesser and High Keys of Solomon. I even have the Necronomicon.
I mean, like, dude, you should crack open one of those books then, man.
Okay, like, thank you. I'll remind you when I summon like Azazel.
It has nothing about summoning.
It's summoning demons is pretty occultish. Mm-hmm.
It's about tapping into spiritual energy. I think you're trying to take the more humane aspects of it, but like the occult is a very broad, like it is very wild. It's not just about gaining a following.
I know, but I'm just saying,
occultism is pretty much transcending your
that's part of like the byproduct, right? Like you start, like the more that you do it, you know, you like.
I would say that's the human aspect, is that we crave that attention because we know something you don't know. That's all it is at the end of the day, dude. That's 100%.
I don't think it's like they want to hold it to be like, oh, I know something you don't know.
That's 100% what it is, and then they end up just making up this crazy mythos, and then they just have to build on it because it becomes like apparent that like, hey, this is fake, and they're like, whoa. I didn't explain it. I didn't explain it all to you. So because you're not ready.
You think
you're not
Tibetan
ready.
Monks? You think like Tibetan monks were like, I know something you don't know, and was like craving attention?
Yeah, I bet you on the inside, yeah, internally.
No.
You don't think the Dalai Lama?
No.
I think you're crazy. Not. He licked that kid. Like, what are we talking?
He was craving that kid's attention.
Oh my god, bro!
I guarantee you, internally, it's like there's different ranks still. Like to make it to the next rank, you got to be ready. You're not ready for this knowledge.
You're not ready for nirvana.
You're not ready to know what I know. Everything is like that.
Look, and most of it is
Scientology. Like, boom.
But that's a religion.
Vatican keeps a lot of shit too from us.
That's a religion.
It's a cult.
No, it's not. It's a cult.
It's a cult.
That is an occult. But
no, it's a cult. It's not
a cult.
Religions are typically a cult.
Cults. Religions are all right. So religions are typically cults. But if you study the occult, then you realize, everything is from within you.
That's not always true in the occult. It's not always from within.
Yeah,
it is always within.
No, it's not. Not from the occult.
Yes, it is. Everything stems from.
I don't know. The occult, as I always understand it from myself, is always the study and the practice of something higher, of like high spirituality. Trying to
more than
the
yourself.
Energies beyond our mortal selves.
But I feel like you guys got the perception that you have to make one of those like 5 gram things and
a pentagram.
That is part of the occult.
No, we're not talking about Satanism here. We're talking about the occult is about natural information, but that transcends your mortal being.
Right.
Yeah, basically.
That's not always from within.
Yeah, it is. That's what I'm trying to tell you. Yeah, it is.
You can channel those energies in order to like buff yourself. Sure. I mean, like from the Keys of Solomon, you pretty much summon these monsters, these demons, these other entities in order to accomplish something. Like technically it's not in the Bible, but like Solomon built his temple through summoning these demons. And that is part of occultism.
I'm sorry. Okay.
It's really, if you think about it, the
books for you, dude. If you want to get into occultism,
I'm telling you should read those books.
Occultism, though,
read those books. They're just how to do shit.
It's about saying that there's more to nature than just what you see. That's all it is.
I know that.
It's not all about within. I think there is a thing about like self-acceptance that I am not, like there's stuff bigger than I am. That's the self-acceptance part. That's the internalization.
Everything from reality that you see is perceived from within.
It's not perceived from within, it's external.
Yeah, occultism to me has always been external. Not really internal. You can use it in order to, like, again, buff yourself internally, but usually it's
maybe
from,
you
like,
should crack open a book.
Nah, dude. Nah.
Nah. What have you read on occultism? Like, what have you read a book on it? Like which?
I read a lot of books when I was a lot younger.
Such as?
What books?
Because again, I have a lot of occult books behind me.
Right.
There's actually a cult bookstore around me that we can go to. I love that place. That's where I got the keys.
We should definitely check it out. And I mean, like, I
got some books that as a Catholic I shouldn't have, like the Malleus Maleficarum.
Help you guys through your journey, but I'm telling you.
Is this your way of coming out as an occultist right now?
Yeah,
it is.
Oh, I got one for you. The Peters Binfield's Book of Demonology.
Oh my God!
It's all from within.
Everything is from within.
No,
everything. Everything.
I feel like you're circling around occultism, but I feel like that there's another better term for that.
Yeah.
It's on the tip of my tongue, but I feel like there's a better term for that than occultism.
Yeah, I don't think the occult is what you want.
Yeah. To me, the cult's always been external. You're always channeling another power. You're always trying to channel another power, another entity, basically.
You're not trying to release the power from within. You're trying to you're being like a vessel at the end of the day.
But I mean, like, that's
why summoning circles is so popular with occultism.
So you guys are just talking about channeling.
But that's what most occult is. You're trying to channel power.
But then we're calling a spade because you're talking about channeling.
Yeah, because you're trying to call them.
So I mean,
that's not from within, though. That's an external force.
Hold on. If you're channeling, you're telling me that's not from within?
No.
Because
the power is not coming from you. It's coming from somebody else.
Yeah, like I'm trying to channel Cthulhu.
I think we have two different definitions of from within.
Hold on. Because if you're channeling, right? Have you usually typically a channel? It's like, hey, I'm letting go. I'm letting somebody use my body to talk, right?
Sure, in some ways.
Isn't that like coming from within?
No. It's only perceived coming from within. They're coming through you.
Hold on, how are you saying
they're coming through you? Would you say coming from within means that it originates from within yourself? That's not what's happening. They're just using you.
Your brain,
as a vessel.
so like your brain is an antenna.
The brain has nothing to do with this.
Did you ever read Aleister Crowley? Is this where you're getting this from?
That's what it kind of sounds like.
Because it just hit me, Crowley. This kind of sounds like Crowley.
That's a yes.
Because I'm not gonna lie, dude. His books.
This is what his Wikipedia is.
Painful.
The brain. Hold on. The brain is an antenna. It broadcasts and you can receive.
This is 100% Crowley.
It's not. I mean, like, dude. This is if you get down to the nitty gritty. If you actually look open and cracked open one of your books, that's what I'm trying to tell you.
This is Crowley was inspired by these books that I mentioned. This is what inspired him. He went into a tomb in ancient Egypt and said he spoke to a demon, and that's what unlocked his third eye. And then he went home and had orgies.
Yeah. And then he was like, I know something, so now you must.
Oh my!
You must lay with me.
I'm not gonna lie, it is one of my favorite Ozzy Osbourne songs.
Yeah, that's fair.
I'm telling you, man. Look,
I think you just got to redefine from within, and then we'll talk.
Everything. Hold on. Everything is from within. Even the perception. The universe is within you. What are you talking about?
It's not. It's out there.
Really?
So now we're just a brain floating in a vat? I thought, what's his face disproved that.
Hold on. So, like,
we're just in the Matrix.
What is your definition of consciousness then?
There is no definition of consciousness.
Consciousness is you.
Consciousness is it self-awareness?
That's another word for it.
But then is my dog not conscious since they're not self-aware?
They're conscious at their level.
That's not the same thing as self-aware.
Okay. All right. So with that, it's a dichotomy. You know what a dichotomy is?
I am familiar with the term.
Yes, okay, yeah. So it's like we're self-aware and conscious, but everything else
we're self-aware and conscious, so they're not the same.
No, they are conscious. Everything is consciousness. Everything is consciousness.
No, everything is conscious. So self-awareness has nothing to do with being conscious.
No, but you are self-aware. It's a dichotomy.
Okay.
Because you're conscious. Because everything is consciousness, and you're self-aware.
But what about things that aren't self-aware?
It's still consciousness. Like even this table, right? Say take this table, right? Like you perceive it as being solid, right?
Oh, here we go. But if you go down to the molecular level, it's just space.
But is that true or not?
Depends on who you ask.
Ask Oppenheimer. The guy that made the bomb. Because he said it in his movie.
That was not him.
That was Peaky Blinders.
that was Tommy Shelby.
But I'm telling you, you should read one of your books.
Okay.
And I'm telling you.
Then how do you explain quantum entanglement?
What's your definition of quantum entanglement?
It's not my definition.
What is the definition of quantum?
The definition that, the what's the word I'm looking for?
You're thinking of atom?
No. At the quantum level, the ability to affect one particle can affect another simultaneously across the universe. Yep. Because they're entangled at the quantum level.
Hold on, say that again.
So
quantum entanglement. Quantum entanglement is when
you can affect one thing here and then it doesn't matter the distance because they're quantumly entangled. It can be affected simultaneously.
Because we're all consciousness. We're all one. Everything.
Well, then my thing is, if we're all connected, there is no space. We're all solid. What do you say to that?
Ooh. They call it the no thing.
Who's they?
The no thing. That's what they call it.
Who is that?
Because look, all right, our vocabulary is like, how do I explain it? Like, so our vocabulary is very limited, right? And like, if you go back to like ancient teachings, especially like on this like type of subject, you can't really explain or use a word for consciousness because it's just that. Like technically our soul, like we label our soul, but our soul is no label. You can't label the soul. Like if you go to a Zen teacher, they don't even call themselves teachers. They just point. They call you a pointer. They're a pointer because you can't understand or comprehend.
Yeah. There's too much nuance and it's too complex to say what is consciousness.
It's not that. It's that it's bigger than the understanding. It's bigger than the mind. So like you could have consciousness and then be the mind or have the mind, but you can't have the mind and not have consciousness. So this is the mind and then
from the human perspective.
From the human perspective, yes. But that's the only perspective that we really have.
That's the only thing we value.
That's true. I mean, Trump was talking about whales' perspective on Rogan.
Yeah, the whale psychologist and shit. Oh my god, I don't know how we got down this freaking rabbit hole.
We're talking about
I think it's a nice change of pace.
Because we're talking about the occult, and I just want you guys, because the occult is similar, very similar to ancient religions, one and one with one another, especially with ancient Egypt. I'm telling you, I
know, because you know who wrote this out a lot, especially tied it to ancient Egypt, Aleister Crowley.
Well, I mean, maybe he was onto something.
I mean, I used to be a fan of his, but his books are notoriously so hard to read.
I never read any of his books.
Oh, so you don't know what you're talking about.
Here's my thing. I get downloads.
Oh shit.
Gets downloads. He doesn't crack open a grimoire.
I get downloads, dude. I don't know how I know this stuff or where it comes from.
There has been no knowledge passed in this entire 45-minute conversation. These are all just assertions.
What can I say, man? I just get these downloads.
He gets these downloads, dude. There's someone talking on the ether plane.
What can I say?
Let me tell you what, bro. There's a couple packets missing from these downloads.
But I'm telling you the truth, though. All you guys got to do is just look this stuff up. I'm never wrong, really.
I don't know. Yeah, because you're speaking so generically.
Of a cult might be a little wrong.
Hold on, no. When you're talking about Zen is very difficult to talk about because you're talking about something that you can't talk about. You're talking about non-duality.
Fight Club.
Look, if you guys ever get in,
you're not allowed to talk about that.
If you guys ever get into like non-duality stuff, you'll see that it's extremely difficult to talk about because you can't really talk about consciousness because the mind can't comprehend it.
Unless it is it.
So like they say, like your brain is the antenna broadcast. Like your body is just a computer, but you are the internet.
Who is they? You keep saying they.
Like I get it.
The people downloading this information into your head.
For that one.
By the way, the definition of occult: mystical, supernatural, or magical powers, practices, or phenomena.
That's what I've been saying. Powers and disciplines. That's what I was saying.
There was nothing about discipline in there.
Hold on, what did I said? I was talking about Hitler. How he was. What? When Jordan said no, he wasn't part of that. I'm like, bro, like that's
he fed into it, but he wasn't really a true believer. At the end of the day,
it was no. First of all, it says magical powers.
You don't think like persuading a whole
is magic? No.
Persuading a whole country to go against the world?
A whole country that was completely devastated by World War I and had no economy, and they were looking for a way out. I don't think you're putting any actual context around what happened.
And you also have to put in the context that they were a superpower before the World War I, and they were fed to believe that they were betrayed from enemies within. And so they needed to assert their dominance again. Germany/Prussia,
but they relied
was a very dominant nation.
They relied heavily on the occult.
And I'm sorry, but like
relied heavily on the real society.
That's not true.
Mostly like the inner circle of the SS.
Heavily is a strong word.
Heavily is a strong word.
It's because what happened was they were looking for a reason to kind of bind these guys together. Like you said, it was in the inner circles, and it kind of tied them together, believing they were more than everybody else, right? Like they had more value. They knew something nobody else knew, right? Back to that again. This forbidden knowledge. Like it was, it was a way to just justify what they were doing.
Did they not rely heavily on that?
No, I wouldn't say heavily.
No, I would not say heavily at all.
That was the whole Nazi and occult thing is interesting. There's like definitely aspects, but it was kind of overblown in the 90s.
They took They took the swastika. Like that was their flag, bro.
It was the symbol, but the occultism was the black sun. That was their symbol, not necessarily the swastika.
Is an occult symbol too.
At the end of the day, it was a symbol, but the occultists were using the black sun.
An ancient symbol.
Yeah, it's an ancient occult symbol of the universe, of the Milky Way.
I wouldn't call it an occult symbol, though.
You're not going to call it an occult symbol because I called it an occult symbol.
No, I don't know if you know what the word occult means.
You just had the definition.
I'm looking it up. I'm looking it up right now. Is the swastika occult? I think I spelled swastika wrong. Yeah, I did.
Hey, don't look that up. You're in Germany.
He's got a point there.
Oh shit, I got to turn my VPN
got a
on.
Point there.
You know what I'm saying?
Let's see. It doesn't seem to think it's an occult symbol. I feel like there's a lot of Buddhists who would be offended by you calling their religion a cult.
Wait, hold on. What do you like? How would they be offended?
Because I don't think they view themselves as a cult.
No, because okay, so like part of it. All right, so like it's like the power of it. It's non-judgmental. Like the Buddhists use it for good, where like the SS use it for bad.
So it actually came in from Indian religions, including Hinduism, Buddhism, and Jainism.
You get what I'm saying? Like anybody can use like the occult, but it depends on the person. Like you can use it for good, you can use it for bad. It's non-judgmental.
Non-judgmental.
All right. I don't feel like we're gonna convince him tonight, Jordan.
All righty. That's all the time we have left. Thank you so much for watching Back Society.
Just read a book.
Open up your third eye.
Get a download.
Yeah.
Read a book. I'm going to send you some grimoires.
Yeah. Make sure. Can we delete your download and re-download it? I think it might be corrupt, dude.
How about this?
Incomplete.
Just look up like alchemic processes. Alchemy.
Now we're getting into alchemy. Are you?
Because that's what it is. Inner alchemy.
Inner alchemy. What a buzz term for the occult.
My blood into gold.
Hey man, it's real.
All right, whatever.
This is Jay signing off.
I rely heavily on it. This is S signing off. Heavily.
This is a non-believer signing off.
Keep that third eye open, guys.